Winning at sports and at sports broadcasting means changing things up.
Just like La Quinta Inns and Suites is changing up their look.
A renovated lobby that's so contemporary it even makes Golic look cool.
Yes, it does. And a totally updated fitness center that even has Wingo feeling like a workout.
I'm ripped. Plus plenty of comfortable spaces to hang out.
Yep, this La Quinta look definitely has a vibe of victory.
So you can just relax, refresh, and get ready for your next big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com. Glad you're with us on a Wednesday morning. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News for the moment as the Australian Open continues, the first major of the tennis season on ESPN2. And once their coverage is concluded there, we will bounce over back to ESPN2 on the TV side. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Hope your Wednesday's off to a good start. Trey Wingo and Mike Golic here. Got a lot to get into.
Yep.
Coming up in just a few minutes, Lane Johnson, Eagles right tackle, an outspoken defender of the realm in Philadelphia will join us.
Not real happy that, and I get it. Listen, every player or team looks for some motivation in the fact that you're the number one seed and you're underdogged against Atlanta. Now you're underdogged again as teams are coming to your place. They feel slighted, so they got the dog masks. He was wearing one, and Chris Long was wearing one for the underdog, and they sold out on Amazon and getting restocked again. And more power to, I mean, listen, it's what you do. Now, should you need motivation to play well? No, but that doesn't mean a little bit on the side can't hurt. You know what I mean?
Use whatever you need.
Absolutely right.
Anything you can do to make yourself and the fans of the city feel better about the situation, do it.
This is the classic get us together. It's us against the world, man. They don't believe in us. They're making us underdogs. Let's show them. It's fantastic. It's a great way to do it.
And again, he'll join us in just a few minutes. Damian Woody, the big man, will be in studio about 8:30. At 9 o'clock hour, right at the top there, Adrian Wojnarowski, our excellent ESPN NBA insider, and Bristol, Connecticut native, by the way, will call in to talk about what's going to happen in Breachgate. I guess we can call it, with what's the fines and suspensions that might be levied out for what happened when the Rockets tried or did get into the Clippers locker room after a heated loss a couple of nights ago. And then John Gruden will join us at 9:30. First time he's joining us as the new head coach of the Oakland Raiders. We talked to him right before the wild card game, and he was pretty open and honest about what he thought was going to happen, and it certainly played out like literally an hour after that game.
Yes, it did.
They said the announcement would be made Tuesday, so we'll talk to him about what he's going to love most about returning to coaching, and that'll be a lot of fun. So we'll look forward to talking to John. All that is ahead, but let's do a little bit of what's happening now with what's trending, and we'll start with Kansas State taking down the fourth-ranked Sooners 87-69. Trae Young, the outstanding freshman point guard for Oklahoma, had 12 turnovers in this game, Mike.
Yeah, the most in a game in Big 12 history, the most by any player since 2015. He did score 20 points. He did have only 6 assists, though. Oklahoma's 0-3 when he has 6 or fewer, and 14-0 when he has 7 or more, so a lot rides on that. And listen, with his usage rate being at right around 41%, and according to Ken Palm, that was the highest percentage by a qualified player in the last 15 seasons, turnovers are going to come with it. He leads Division I with 5.2 turnovers, but it's like when you have a great player like that, you live with some of the bad. It's like that great D lineman that's a sack artist that jumps offside every now and then. You're like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like me, I jump offside, get to the sideline. You know, Reggie White jumps offside. Hey, Reg, just try not to do that again as you go get that next sack. You know, so you're going to live with a little bit of the downside, especially when a guy has the ball in his hand that much.
Look, you want mistakes of aggression, right? Whether it's football or basketball, you don't want passivity. You want aggression, and you can live with those, and those are coachable. He'll be fine. He just had a rough night. People forget, 18 years old.
That's exactly
18 years old, and
he can be on my team.
Yeah, I'll still take him.
Exactly.
Somehow, some way, I still think I'd keep Trae Young on my squad. Continuing with what's trending, and this is interesting because Drew Brees is now free to sign with whomever he wants. He is a free agent. But Brees said on Tuesday that he won't wait until the start of the new league year on March 14th to sign a new contract with the Saints, even if that means losing the leverage that might come with other potential suitors.
He did the most vet move you can do, okay? The city loves him, right? They have a Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl quarterback. The city loves him. The team is on the verge, and he said, I want to be a Saint as long as they'll have me.
In other words, it's on you, big guys.
Here you go, guys. I want to be here. Do you want me?
Yeah. And I think the answer to that still is a resounding yes.
I think it is as well, and they have to figure out the number. What a good situation they're in is they got some of their best players still on rookie deals.
Yep.
Had four, one defensive rookie of the year in Lattimore, a co-offensive rookie of the year in Kamara.
Ryan Ramczyk.
Ramczyk is an all-rookie selection, and Marcus Williams.
Who had the horrible play at the end, but still balled for them
is an all-rookie team selection. So, all those guys are on rookie deals. So, because that's been a team that's been in horrific shape with cap money and dead money that's hanging out there. But with the great players, great play out of the younger players, that's going to help them from the cap side. They don't have to pay those guys for a few years.
Yeah, and Breeze was fourth in passing yards this year. He already went through the contract situation the last time around. That's how he got the $30 million number. So we'll see what shakes with that in the offseason, and probably going to happen sooner rather than later when you look at that March 14th date to start the year. And we'll finish up with this. How about a bakery in Duval County, Florida, sent 7 turnovers to Ben Roethlisberger, one for each turnover he had against the Jags this season.
Yeah, here's the note they sent Big Ben. Dear Big Ben, we wanted to thank you for the amazing season so far, beating you this year not once but twice in the Berg. Well, that was amazing. We appreciated the turnovers you gave us for our season, so in return, we wanted you to get a taste of 7 turnovers. So they sent their very best apple, blueberry, and cherry turnovers. Sincerely, the amazing city of Jacksonville, or as you know them, Saxonville.
There you go.
Ooh,
there you go.
Man.
And that's even a little dig because the Steelers actually had more sacks than the Jags
they
by
did.
1.
Yes,
but you know what?
did.
At the end of the day, they're playing in the AFC Championship game against New England. Now, let's bring in someone who is going to be playing in the NFC Championship game. And, our music master, Cliff, who cooks behind the glass, by the way, is always ready with the right music. So we thought for bringing in Lane Johnson with the dog mask he was wearing,
too easy.
I think this is the perfect music. Yeah, Lane Johnson approves. I heard that. Yeah. I heard him approve of that music. Lane Johnson, right tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, joins us now on Golic and Wingo. Lane, thanks for being with us this morning. You sort of created a phenomenon in Philadelphia with that dog mask.
Yeah, and it just took off kind of unexpectedly. Chris Song came up with the idea. We were having lunch, and everybody's talking about us being underdogs, so we went and bought us an underdog mask, and here we are, sold out on Amazon, and I mean, it's out of control.
Stay away from Chris Long. He's trouble. I've known that guy for years. All right? So you go down that road with Chris, and all kind of bad things happen. Just beware of who you're hanging with. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Hey, Lane, as far as when it's a very cool thing, and as I was talking about, as players, you always look for, something that can be a little extra motivation if you need it at all. Certainly you don't need it, but it certainly doesn't hurt to have it. When did this, not so much the dog mask, but just within that locker room, when did are you kidding me with the kind of the disrespect is going on? When did that really start? Is it when you guys first learned you were underdogs? When did that all start?
I think it really started when Carson went down. We have Nick coming in, and just because you don't put up MVP-like numbers right away, then you get doubted. And, that's kind of what we've been using to fuel ourselves, create energy. And, I think that's why we won against the Falcons.
It certainly was a big part of it. Lane Johnson, the right tackle with us, all-pro for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not only the dog mask, but you've raised $56,000 in 24 hours for your underdog shirt sales. And that money's going to is going to help people in the Philadelphia school district. Cool. So you're helping yourself, but you're also helping the community, which is really great.
Yeah, it's something that we wanted to do. It didn't take long for people starting to start requesting it, and it took off like the mask. And we're nonstop printing these shirts.
It's fantastic, and to look at your team, Lane, and I know all teams lose players throughout the year, but if you look at it, you guys have lost basically key players at every position on the field. So talk about what has made this team so resilient through all those losses, including on your line, you losing Jason Peters as well as many other players as well, of what's kept this team so resilient.
Yeah, I think the front office did a good job of, providing depth, and I think just a lot of us are close guys, so when somebody went down, it was, who's the next guy up? Let's support him. And even the injured guy, Jason Peters, Carson Wentz, all these guys are still in the building rehabbing. They're in there talking to guys before the game. So it's not like they're not a part of the team. They're just having a different role right now. And we're very fortunate to have guys like that.
Lane Johnson with us, the Eagles right tackle, who played his college ball at Oklahoma. And Lane, you are one of the most fascinating stories. I do the draft every year, and you are one of the most fascinating stories in recent memory. People forget, he started out at Oklahoma as a quarterback. You went to Oklahoma as a quarterback, and then you went tight end, and then you went OT. How did that transition happen? Take us through how a guy who goes to Oklahoma as a quarterback ends up as a left tackle.
Yeah, so basically when I got to Oklahoma, I was probably around 255, and I was going to move to tight end, so that was official. And then over the years, I just kept getting bigger. Another guy I came in with, Gabe Eichert, who's with the Saints right now, he's probably about the same weight as I was, so we had to go on this journey. He actually transitioned to center before I did, so he went from about 245 to 305. And a few springs later, Coach Stoops came up to me and asked me if I wanted to play tackle, and I told him absolutely not. And then one of our tackles actually went down in spring ball, so we needed somebody for to fill in, and I kind of been stuck ever since. So that's what happened. I was actually in the pass rush drill as a defensive end, and Stu switched me, and I've been stuck here ever since. Well, so that's kind of how it came to be.
It seems like it's worked out for you, just so you know. It seems like it happens a lot at Oklahoma. Blake Bell went from being a quarterback to a tight end. The Belldozer, as he was known in Norman.
Gabe Eichert played in that game against my sons when they were at Notre Dame and played down there, and knew he was a tight end that went inside. And mostly you see tight ends, good athletes there that have the really good feet that end up sometimes, then becoming those offensive
Jason
linemen.
Peters.
Yeah, and it certainly works out pretty well.
The foot speed and having the guys with a frame that can do it. So I think the transition will be probably more common as we go.
Completely agree. So we look at this game, Lane, as Minnesota comes to town, a team, we look at, for the first time since the merger, all four teams left have a defense that are ranked in the top 5 in scoring, and that certainly includes Minnesota, the defense you're going to go up against. So early look at them and what you see out of them as things you guys that could present problems.
I see just a very balanced defense. Obviously have 2 good pass rushers, Griffin and Hunter, and inside with Joseph. So just big, thick, strong guys. And then with Barr and Kendricks there in the middle, Barr can obviously rush the passer, great speed with their cornerbacks and very smart safety. So just probably the more balanced defense that we've seen all year. Do a good job with the safety disguising and rolling their coverages. And just pretty dangerous, just all the way across the board, solid.
Lane Johnson with us, the right tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, who again played left tackle at Oklahoma, but started there as a quarterback and is now one of the best tackles in the game. You sort of you and Chris Long sort of got this whole underdog thing going, but this is not the first time this season, by the way, that Lane has looked for an edge. He went to Oklahoma. He grew up in is it Groveton, Texas? Is that where you're from?
Yeah, Groveton.
And where exactly in Texas is that?
It's probably an hour north of Houston, directly north of Houston.
Okay.
So just a really small town, probably about 1,000 population, if that. So really tiny town.
Trinity County, right?
Yeah, Trinity County.
Okay,
yep.
So the reason I bring that up, because Lane is always looking for an edge. Before they were playing the Cowboys for the first time in Dallas that year, where they routed them on that, I think it was a Sunday night game, you had to tell your grandmother to stop talking about being a Cowboys fan, right? You said, hey, can't be having that.
Yeah, it was actually last year during the playoff game. I was actually coming in from, I don't know where I was. Anyways, I came in for dinner, and she was sitting there watching just by herself, and just wouldn't stop cheering for Dak and Dez. And I was, I said what I said, and what's going on here, and had to put her in her place. Her being 75 or not, she had to be put in her place.
That little come to Jesus meeting with Grandma. Really, that's tremendous.
Hey, Lane,
that's exactly what it was.
And speaking of fans, give a little love to the Philly fans. I spent most of my career there, and when you're good, they love you, and they're smart fans. When you're not doing so well, they let you know that as well. But right now, it is all good with that fan base and that backing you're getting.
Yeah, especially this past game, when it was 4th and 6 and 4th and 2, you're not going to find a more live atmosphere or more energetic. So, obviously they'll tell you how you're doing. We're doing good right now, and it's going to be live this Sunday.
No, it's going to be great. Look, trying to get to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time. Haven't won an NFL championship since 1960 in Philadelphia. Lane Johnson, again, also not doing the dog mask, but raising $56,000 in less than 24 hours from his underdog shirt sales. And the money raised will go to Philadelphia School District, which is great. underdog is the perfect example, Lane, for this team right now. It's not only you guys, but the quarterback, Nick Foles. I mean, he was had that unbelievable season in 2013, 27 touchdowns against 2 interceptions, and then sort of kicked to the curb. Then he comes back. How have you guys rallied around him, and what's been the dynamic in the locker room and in the huddle and during the practice facility, knowing the guy that he had to take over for was probably going to be the MVP of the league?
Yeah, I mean, we've been here to support him. I think the main thing was him getting reps. It takes time for him to develop chemistry with the receivers. Although he gets reps with them all year, it's not the same as, the starting quarterback. So I think what we've done is able to put him in a comfortable situation over the past, this past game and get the right game plan for him and, let him play with confidence to be who he is. I think we look back at all the success he's had with Chip and what he does best. And I think it's what we're trying to do for him is put him in good situations. And I mean, nothing really changed with him. I mean, as far as confidence, I mean, I've never seen Nick get shaken in a game or in a huddle, and that's probably never going to change.
Well, look, it's been a lot of fun to watch this team all season long, and it's been great to see you guys rally around each other and play for the guy next to you and believe in yourselves. That's the beauty of sports, especially when you see somebody go down. You see how the line is next man up, and everybody in Philadelphia certainly embodied that. Hey, if you guys win on Sunday, will you send us some of those dog masks and shirts? We'd love to have them.
You're breaking out on me.
Okay, it was a shameless plug to get free stuff. We wanted the shirt and then we want the dog mask.
We'll get it done, guys.
We'll get it done. Hey, Lane, we appreciate it.
Lane.
Thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You got it. Lane Johnson. It was really funny. I heard a little interview with him before they played that regular season game with the Cowboys, and he was like, I had to tell Grandma, you need to stop that.
That is something.
Don't you be cheering for that.
And it is amazing. As he said, you as a quarterback to a tight end to a lineman. Right? As you mentioned, Blake Bell.
The Belldozer.
The Belldozer goes from quarterback to tight end. And he mentioned Gabe Eichert when is a tight end and as an interior lineman, as he mentioned now with New Orleans. I believe was on the practice squad there. So, but that is how you get athletic. Yeah. You start out as something, especially that tight end. You see a lot of tight ends that move down to the tackle position. You have those hands and those feet to really help.
Peters.
Yeah, really helps you.
And Eric Winston, who's the head of the NFL Players Association, when he was playing, he started out at the University of Miami as a tight end.
Yeah.
And then transitioned his way to the offensive line. It is going to be interesting, though, because that was a weird game Saturday between the Eagles and the Falcons.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, they were -2 in the turnover differential.
Yeah.
We ran the numbers.
They had 4 fumbles in the first half.
It was crazy.
Lost 2 of them. Yeah.
I mean, we ran the numbers on Saturday during NFL primetime, and if you're -2 or worse in a playoff game under the current playoff format going back to 1990, you win 16 times, you lost 145. Yeah. So they can't have that sort of thing.
No, they can't. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, and at the end, Atlanta was 2 yards away from winning that game or being in position to win that game, but Philly did what they needed to do, and they got the win. Now they go, and they're a very well-balanced team, even with the injuries, offense, defense, and special teams. But Minnesota is well-balanced as well. Redid that whole offensive line. They're working on backups, obviously, as well at running back and the quarterback position. Yeah. They had guys step out this year like Diggs and Thielen. Rudolph get back to kind of that Pro Bowl level, especially in the red zone receiver that he is. So, and then that defense. I mean, this is a great matchup. I think a great matchup of total team. This is one of those where you don't even want to go get that beer. They got a punt or there's a special team play. I'm going to go take my break now. That's not the time to take it. These are good special teams as well that can make a huge difference in the game.
Well, we spent a lot of time this week talking about Minnesota and the little magic and, Look, they're the third-string quarterback and arguably the third-string running back with all the injuries that happened. Then the way they beat the Saints, maybe they're a team of destiny and all that kind of stuff.
That.
But Philadelphia could make the same claim.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your quarterback go down, who's going to be the MVP of the league. You still find a way to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. And then look at the way they won that game. The ball just bounced their way a couple of times. There was that botched handoff right at the goal line.
And the ball's right in front of Foles.
Right in front of Nick Foles. He falls on it. LeGarrette Blount scores on the next play. And then one of the craziest bounces I've seen
off the knee,
ever.
Yeah.
It's an overthrow by Foles at the end of the half. That is an easy interception. And then safety Keanu Neal for the Falcons proves why he's a safety and not a wide receiver.
Yep.
He goes to catch it, and it bounces off his knee up in the air right into the hands of wide receiver Torrey Smith. That enables Jake Elliott to hit a 53-yarder as time expires.
They're down 1 at halftime in a horrific game. Yeah.
And if they don't get that 53-yarder at the end of the half, and I get it, games could play out differently.
They can change. You don't know.
But if they don't get that 3 points, at the end of the day, at the end of that game, the Falcons didn't need a touchdown.
Maybe not.
They would have just needed a field goal to win.
Yeah.
So sometimes, we talk about Minnesota. The way the ball bounced from Philadelphia, you could certainly make the case that they might be a team of destiny.
I don't want to hear the destiny
as well.
thing.
No, not at all.
Your Notre Dame went to the championship game. I mean, they needed at least one team to get to number one. It's back in the BCS.
Yeah.
They got two teams to lose that put them at number one. They're winning a game on goal line stands, on field goals in overtime. Yeah. I mean, there's some place where, listen, when you're undefeated, you got to be good, but you need a little bit of luck as well. Right. So everybody, team of destiny, team of
and
destiny.
Then what happened?
How'd that go?
Alabama, get away. Get away.
You know what destiny can do? It can kiss my booty is what it can do.
Well, you put it out there to be kissed with that photo, so good for you.
Hey there, I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more, like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick, Miss Lydia!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Pink Floyd The Wall making appearance.
Wow.
On Golic and Wingo. Cliff's musical library knows no bounds, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely done. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News as the Australian Open continues on ESPN2. And once their coverage is complete, we will be back on ESPN2 on the TV side. Lots to get into. We'll get to this in a little bit, but we discovered a new word today that has now taken on significant meaning.
Yes, it has.
Because of a very important birthday today.
Very important birthday.
Which we'll get into.
Yes.
And we will also have a battle of these two people that personify this meeting.
Share this word.
And it's unbelievable how that all plays out.
Stunning.
That'll be coming up in a little bit, but we're going to do this again. You ready?
Yeah, let's try Trey, shall we?
Try Trey, brought to you by Discover Card, who will match all the cash back new card members earn at the end of their first years. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations do apply. All right, so here we go. We're doing this again.
It's time to try Trey.
And that about sums it up.
You really hate this stuff. Anything that has to do with, you have a name in a show, in a national show, and if we do anything that involves you, you don't like it.
Well, I know that your name is first for a reason.
But your name is in the show.
It's in the show. It's small print.
No, it's not.
It's small print.
It's not small print.
It's just small print.
Okay.
You're the. I'm just look. You know those little like fish that glom onto bigger fish to clean their teeth.
Yeah,
that's what I am to you, big guy. I'm just hanging on to you by a thread.
Got a real horrible visual going on right now. I'd like you to move on.
I'll just ride that train as long as you'll have me. Yeah. Little Ramore, I'm just stuck on you. All right, here we go. Jer Bear, the Bitmaster extraordinaire, put these questions together. It's going to be Trey or nay. Do I agree with this, Trey, or do I say nay, it's not true? You ready? Here we go. Here's the first one.
The Patriots have the easiest road to the Super Bowl of all time. Trey or nay?
I'm going to say nay because I do believe Jacksonville is a lot better than the perception of Jacksonville for a lot of people. I get it. I mean, if the Patriots are going to go to another Super Bowl, they're basically just going through the AFC South.
Right.
Okay. The Tennessee Titans and then the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I don't think, and I think you agree with me, I don't think this game is going to be easy at all. Jacksonville doesn't know, and they don't care. And sometimes that makes you very dangerous, and also they're very good.
I'm completely nay on this. I mean, I get it with Tennessee. All right, Tennessee scores first, and New England rattles off the next 35. They've done that before, certainly at times. But no way, this Jacksonville team, and I know our own Bill Polian, and I understand what Bill is saying, is, hey, you know what, this organization's got 5 trophies. You don't want to poke the bear if you're Jacksonville. I'm Jack. Do what you do, man.
Right. Be
you.
Yeah.
You know, you talk. They've been talking the talk and they've been walking the walk. I think they match up really well with New England. So in no way, shape, or form do I think this is the easiest road to the Super Bowl of all time for the Patriots. No.
And the other thing, too, if Jacksonville stopped talking, it would be like a quarterback who was very quiet and reserved and then tried to be all boisterous. No,
don't be something you're not.
Your teammates would sniff that out in a second.
Exactly right.
Right. So be who you are. Okay. Here's the next one. You ready?
Yep.
Todd Haley should return as the offensive coordinator of the Steelers. Trey or nay?
Well, the question there is should, and that's the key word. I actually think he should return, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah.
Because, again, if you didn't see the story, it was out there on ProFootballTalk.com that some of the partners of the Steelers that have no ownership vote.
Right.
I mean, they don't have any power.
They have no juice at all.
They have none, but they have expressed their disinterest and how upset they are with the way things went in the playoff game. And really the last couple of years, they feel like the Steelers have underachieved under Mike Tomlin. And they're upset with some situational football, which they have a right to be upset with. But Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. And if someone goes, it might just be Todd Haley. So I'm going to say Trey, he should return, but I don't think he will.
I think I agree with you. I mean, Haley's contract is up, so if it wouldn't be fired, it just wouldn't be renewed.
Right.
Listen, for the regular season, they were third in the league in scoring. And I know a lot of people will say, well, with the offense they have and the firepower, they should be. 3 Pro Bowlers on the line and then the killer beats. I get it. You're still third in scoring. You're right up there. And in this playoff game, you put up 42.
Against Jacksonville.
You put up 42. You should be winning ball games.
Right.
So there's part of me that says the same thing now because of some of the situational things we're talking about. That's above him. That's to the head coach. Now, you want to get critical of some of the play calling, like, God forbid, you run a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
You haven't done it since 2014. Okay, I'll go with you there.
Understandable.
But I think I would agree with you. Trey, should he be back? But nay, I do not think he will be back.
Yeah, I agree. And, Haley's one of those guys that clearly knows what he's doing, but sometimes he just tends to rub people the wrong way.
Absolutely right.
It feels like that might be a situation playing out in Pittsburgh. And again, when he got there at the first time, there was a little
friction.
tension between him and Ben. Sorry.
There you
go. There are too many horns here.
A lot of horns.
I have too many toys. See, this is why your name is first.
Well,
That's
there
why
you go.
This is why your name is first. Here we go. Next question.
This year's playoffs will change how teams view the need for a franchise QB. Trey or nay?
Yeah, that's a hard nay for me, dog.
Yeah.
Not even close. I mean, there are people out there trying to spin this narrative that you don't need a franchise quarterback. As Chandler Bing once said to Ross on Friends, stop that now. Okay? No, that's a hard nay.
A hard nay for me as well. Now, I know we have a first here for the fact that all 4 teams are in the top 5 in scoring defense. Yep. So, listen, if you have a great defense, like Minnesota does, like Jacksonville does, even Philly is approaching that. I think New England's is down from that, but still one of the top 5 in scoring defense. You can get away with winning. We've seen it happen before, but I'm sorry. You to say this is going to teams now say, and we know what that really means is we don't need to shell out $25 million a year for our cap when we could use that money to go other places.
Now, that's a separate discussion, which is really interesting.
But if you're going to get a franchise quarterback, that's got to be part of the discussion.
Right.
Is you're going to basically be paying that. But I don't, not the most important position on the field. I don't think it's going to change a team's view to say, hey, yeah, let's not worry about the possibility of a franchise quarterback and build elsewhere. Not happening.
And I think that perception is out there because they say, well, look at the quarterbacks. You have Brady, the greatest all time, and then you have Nick Foles, Case Keenum, and Blake Bortles. It's really just about Bortles.
It really is, and it's 1 year. This is the first, and you don't start blowing stuff up because something happens for the 1 year.
No, look, the Eagles are there because of Carson Wentz, not because of Nick Foles. And if you look at the numbers, if you take the name away and look at the way he played, Case Keenum played at an elite level this year. You can pretend like he didn't, but you just be pretending. In 14 starts, 22 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions. Drew Brees walking in as the first ballot Hall of Famer. In 16 starts, 23 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions. Look, the defense has always been there. The Patriots had the number 1 scoring defense a year ago. The year before, Denver was the number 1 defense. Legion of Boom, a couple of years back, went to back-to-back Super Bowls with a great defense. A defense will always get you there, but don't for 1 second buy into this notion that you don't need a franchise quarterback. All right, here we go. Next question.
The Cavs should trade Brooklyn's first-round pick to improve the team this season. Trey or...
Oh, Jer Bear went Mr. Ed. Nicely done, Jerry.
Yeah.
Right, again, the keywords there is this season.
Yes.
Because they have to figure out what's going to be left after this season, So I'm going to say nay on that one. I'm going to say that it's the responsibility of the ownership to make sure that the cupboard won't be completely bare should, let's just say, certain people decide to move on.
Okay, here's the deal. Yeah. You're asking me. You're not asking me what I think the management should do.
Yeah.
Trade anything you can to get a team that wins this year. Yeah. Now, I'm saying that as a Clevelandite, Cleveland whatever.
A Clevelander.
Born and raised in Cleveland. I want to see a championship.
And you don't even know what you're called.
So I just care about this year.
Yeah.
But you know what? Truthfully, from a business side, LeBron is not going to walk in there today and say, you know what, hey, I'm staying, so let's go ahead and use that pick. Let's try and win now because I'll be here for the next few years. He's not doing that.
Nope.
So you're left to kind of wonder, what do we do? Do we hang on to that? So I get it from their side. From a fan side, do whatever you have to do to win a championship this year. That would be my thought process.
Yeah, you're right. But, from a business side, they got to protect themselves.
I get it.
They have to protect themselves. But no, as a fan, man, do whatever you want.
Do it.
All right, we got one more. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Paul Pierce deserves to have his jersey ceremony not interrupted by an Isaiah Thomas tribute video. Trey or nay?
I'm going to say Trey, fine, whatever. I mean, it is amazing to me how this has sort of become a thing, right?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I mean, the whole idea that somehow Paul Pierce is offended that they might have said something to a video tribute to Isaiah Thomas, and now Isaiah Thomas says, no, I want to back off and have Paul have his day, and he put it out there on Twitter. Couldn't he have just said, guys,
it's not what happens nowadays. Yeah. And for those, a quick review of this, when Isaiah Thomas first went back to Boston, he didn't start, so they were going to play the tribute video then, but they didn't. So they're going to wait till the next time. That's February 11th, and that's also the date they're retiring Paul Pierce's jersey. Paul Pierce on the jump, kind of egged on by Steven Jackson.
He was his hype man.
Was talking about that he doesn't want to share that night, but he kept going with it.
Right.
And then that seemed a little odd there that he kept going with it, and then they got into what, guy's been there a couple of years, you're getting a tribute video.
Does it really bother you that much, Paul?
I mean, this really turned into a childish thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But Isaiah, I'm past why do you got to tweet this and let everybody know? That's this generation, man.
Yep.
That's where we are. This is social media. Everything goes out on social media, so I get that part of it now. That's what they do. But, man, this was really a ridiculous, childish situation.
It's gotten a little crazy.
Yes,
so, look,
it has.
Either way, Isaiah Thomas had a good 3 years, and Paul Pierce should have his night. But the fact that it became a wrestling match.
Yeah, the little drama involved here. But so it will just be Paul Pierce getting his jersey
congratulations,
retired.
Paul.
Yes.
You got what you wanted.
You deserve it. There's no doubt about it.
Question.
But boy, the situation was
how we got here, it was a bumpy road.
Yeah. Golic and Wingo, presented by Progressive's Home Insurance. Getting a quote is easier than ever.
All right, we roll on. Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio, and now ESPN2. So if you're on the TV side, you can turn us on ESPN2 now as the Australian Open coverage has come to a conclusion. Australian Open's a really fun event, by the way.
Yes.
Really. And Australia, as a country, pretty darn fun.
Yeah. Put another shrimp on the bobby!
I promise to go there to never say that down there because I'm afraid they'll throw things
I'm
at
going
me.
to say that as I'm drinking a Foster's.
Which, by the way, is not an Australian beer.
I know.
Just so you know.
And
but so anyway, we're on ESPN2 now. Today is a day to celebrate.
Yes, it is.
Today we are celebrating a national treasure.
We are.
Betty White turns 96 today.
Betty White's birthday. Happy birthday, Betty.
Has anybody done? Yeah, and I'm sure this is this is the song she was dabbing to when that gif of Betty White dabbing was made.
God love her.
Is there anybody who's done the 90s better than Betty White?
And then did the 80s better than anybody in the 70s?
Insane. I remember seeing her on the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Yeah.
Okay? Back in the 70s as a kid. And she has just been she's had did you ever see the movie Lake Placid?
Oh, yeah.
With the giant crocodile?
Yes.
She had some of the greatest lines.
She's fantastic.
That you wouldn't expect a woman of her age. She would have been in the late 70s, early 80s.
Did in the movie Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, she's great. She's a national treasure.
96.
96 today, so congratulations. Yes. Now, we weren't sure what to call someone in
the
their
90s.
Because, someone in their 70s is a septuagenarian.
Right.
Someone in their 80s is an octogenarian.
Right.
So I had to look it up. Octogenarian.
Octogenarian.
So I had to look up what you call. I sort of jokingly said, is it nonagenarian? And that's what it is.
That's what it is.
A nonagenarian.
Nonagenarian.
So, hey, Nana, congratulations to Betty White.
Birthday. But we got a couple other Nanas.
This is the best. All right, we've talked a lot about this, that Millie Wall, the 99-year-old Vikings fan, who made it to her first game at the new stadium.
Right.
This past Sunday, and was her first ever playoff game.
First playoff game. Roger Goodell was down there talking to her, gave her 2 Super Bowl tickets as well. 99.
So congratulations to her. She got to see her Vikings in the playoffs for the first time, got her first trip to the new stadium. She had been to the Metrodome, and before that she actually went to the old Metropolitan Stadium where they played outdoors in Minnesota. But that's just half the nonagenarian battle we have going on in this NFC Championship game, because 99-year-old Phil Basser of Philadelphia, is a lifelong Eagles fan.
Yep.
And as an early 100th birthday present, Phil's family is taking him to Sunday's NFC Championship game at the Link. His family is hoping his presence will bring him some magic. So we have Millie versus Philly in the battle of nonagenarian football fans.
How awesome is that?
It's fantastic.
It's
fantastic.
Just fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's going to be what? In the 50s, so it's not going to be too cold. They should both be in suites anyway, by the way, if they want to be, if that's where they want to go.
Yeah.
By the way, when both of them turn 100, you know what they'll be called then?
Centenarians?
Centenarian.
Centenarians. I think the J gets out of it when you get to 100.
Centenarian.
Right? Centenarians. Yeah. And by the way, 99-year-old Phil Basser, he was born in Philadelphia in 1918, fought in World War II and the Korean War before opening his advertising company.
Wow.
So Phil Basser will be there. Now, I don't think Millie's traveling.
Right. Don't think she's
to
going
Philadelphia.
there. Right.
But she was there in Minnesota to see that epic comeback, arguably the greatest comeback in the history of the NFL because it had never happened before.
Right.
What do we have? 4 lead changes in the final 2 minutes?
In the final 4 minutes.
Final 4 minutes. Crazy. It was ridiculously good. So she was there to see that, and at that game, Commissioner Goodell gave her 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. So she has a chance now to go to 2 straight playoff games, her first 2 playoff games, and one of them be the first time ever that a home team is playing in their home stadium for the Super Bowl. But Phil Basser wants none of that. Phil wants to see his Eagles go back for the 3rd time.
And you know what Phil's saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Roger, where are my tickets?
Exactly.
Okay?
Hey, listen, you got one 99-year-old, you give her tickets, she's
exactly
turning 100.
right.
I think turnabout is fair play.
I think he's got a good argument right there.
Who's going to argue with Phil?
It's exactly right.
I mean, 99 years old.
Hey, the world is yours, man.
Grew up in an orphanage and served our country twice fighting in World War II and the Korean War. Tip of the cap to you, sir. We are excited.
Oh, I mean, I can only hope to be around at 99. Right? I got no shot.
And I
got no shot.
Neither one of us.
As I said, I'll be stuffed in on the porch.
Well, we talked about how you should be stuffed. Yeah, well, I'm seeing a picture of Phil. He's wearing his Carson Wentz jersey.
Awesome.
He's got his finger up, number 1. He's excited. So we got Millie and we got Philly in the NFC Championship game, and we'll see what happens playing it out going forward. We got lots more coming for you. Damian Woody, Adrian Wojnarowski will join us, and John Gruden. We like that guy. Still on the way. Golic and Wingo. Stay with us.
Hello, I'd like to deposit this to checking.
Fate is a fickle master.
What?
The future is uncertain.
Okay, and what's my account balance?
The horizon is cloudy. I see a long, treacherous voyage filled with great peril.
Look, can I just get a deposit slip or something?
A fortune bank teller. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I see a yellow-eyed serpent and a low APR.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.